Been a long one. Yep.
Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this. I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome, everybody, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Bowes, and as you can tell, that is not Matty G sitting next to me, but the beautiful, wonderful, and extremely talented Laura Meadows. How are you doing today, Laura?
I'm good. How are you? And happy Halloween.
Thank you.
May all your nightmares come true.
Look at that. You are really the next Elvira. You know what? You could take over for Elvira. Right. It is wonderful to have you here on the show tonight.
Thank you.
For our viewers that are coming in, if you're not familiar with Laura, which I think is almost impossible nowadays, with her many, many screen credits that are out there, just to name a few: The Butcher, The Grim Reaper, and 1,000 Ways to Die. I have to tell you, that's now your version of The 1,000 Ways to Die was not the one with Seth MacFarlane, I believe.
No.
No, yeah, his was of course more comedy based in for the movie theaters, but yeah, the 1,000 Ways to Die. I mean, for all friends and horror fans out there to find all the possible ways that things can happen, that is a good thing to watch. So.
Yeah, I remember doing that one, and I didn't die. I was actually, I did a couple of them, but I was Shelley, the trashy housewife, and we showed the dangers of don't drink and drive your riding lawnmower. No, that's a no. Don't.
There are tons and hundreds of Americans out there that disagree.
Yeah, well, you know, there are things that can happen, and you can look that up on my YouTube channel.
It's worth watching just to find out for the ride-on lawnmower alone.
I had people look. It was funny. They showed it in England and other places in Europe, and I had people looking me up on Facebook. Instagram. And they had seen me on 1,000 Ways to Die, and they were trying to find my name, and I was so surprised. They were looking for my name, and one guy who was so excited to find me, he was in high school, and he said, "You look like Anna Nicole Smith." I'm like, "Oh, that's sweet." He's like, "She's my favorite, and she's my mommy's favorite, and we wanted to find you." So you hear a lot of really cool, sweet things from people.
Yeah, super sweet. Apparently, our listener Mike is saying that he will not go out and drink and ride on a lawnmower.
Okay, yeah, don't. Yeah. But if you want to see example of what happens,
check out that clip of 1,000 Ways to Die. You know.
Yeah, and we were smoking herbal cigarettes, or I was the only one that knew how to light a cigarette, and so and to keep them going. And so I don't smoke, but I know how. Yeah. And nobody else, the other girls didn't. And I would have like 3 cigarettes I'd be smoking, and then I would have to give it to them before the shoot, including the stunt woman.
That's really funny.
And by the time I was done with the shoot, because I kept having to smoke them over and over and over as they were shooting it. And by the time the shoot was done, I was like,
Like,
Whoa. Really, that to me, the dangers of smoking three herbal cigarettes at a time
done.
repeatedly
Yeah,
was
yeah,
my thousand ways to die personally.
that's funny. It's amazing the weird things you can have with real life experiences.
Oh yeah.
My cousin had shot a commercial for I think it was Old El Paso Tacos or something at one point, and he was the father in the commercial, and he'd said because the little boy in the commercial kept messing up his lines, they had to keep eating tacos and eating tacos and eating tacos, and he had eaten so many cold tacos that by the time I think it's been like several years, and he still hasn't had a taco since. He's just
Oh
like his favorite thing, and now he can't even do that because of how many takes it took.
yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yes.
So that's why I would never want to have to shoot a commercial for something I really enjoy eating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would definitely burn you out. I didn't want to get near anything that was cigarette related or smoke related. I was just trying to recover for days afterwards.
I bet. That's really
But
fun.
it's all good, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, just so you know.
Good. Good. Well, that's fantastic. So I've got a couple fun articles. Do you want to join me in some very weird news from around the world?
I would love to. I mean, not that it hasn't already been super weird,
It's
but
true.
let's go for it. Let's
Oh,
get a little weirder.
okay. So the article I have up first, and this is actually kind of funny because there are some weird people in this world. I'm interested to hear your take on this. The
Okay.
title of this article is "Masturbation and Playing Air Drums Might Look the Same." So the article reads, a Louisiana man who was booked on an obscenity charge after he was allegedly masturbating on campus of the Louisiana State University. The news outlet reported the person walking near the edge of the campus had caught the 72-year-old James Cousins watching female students from his truck while choking his chicken. Okay. Well, the witness couldn't see Cousin playing with his private parts. He told the cops that he could tell what he was doing based on how his arm was moving. Now, the LSU campus cops checked the surveillance footage to see the truck, and which he had basically been sitting in and parked on the whole time. After Cousins was identified that the truck owner the cops learned that the man had actually been arrested several times on a set of obscenity charges, and that had gone back all the way to 1981. Now, according to the news station, the man had told them that this this is the best part. He told the cops that watching women was the only thing he has left, while claiming his heart condition prevents him
Hmm.
from masturbating.
Okay. What part of Louisiana are we talking about?
Right. Well, wherever it's close enough to the university, I guess. But I
Uh-huh.
I have to tell you, I don't know if what he's stating in there. So playing the air drums, or admitting, "Yep, I was watching." Like, it's just as creepy, right? Like, I have been sitting
Yeah.
here watching it because it's all I've got. Like, what else have you got going on in your life where just sitting in a truck watching students is all you've got?
My ex-husband's from Louisiana.
That's why you wanted to know.
What city?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Is
last
it
name
him?
yeah, last names with cousins,
I gotta call him and ask him.
right?
Was that you?
That's really funny.
Because I hear this from him. It's all I've got left. So I've heard that before. It seems to be something they say in Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's all I've got left. So I get that. They have yeah. That's an entirely different world
Yeah, that's
down
a
there, right?
state of affairs for Louisiana if that's all you've got left. Oh, goodness.
So I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it is a plausible excuse.
Then they looked the other way on this, didn't they? They didn't take him in. They just kind of wrote about it, and that was about don't do it. Well, waited until he washed his hands first, of course, and
Yeah,
then slapped him on the hand for that. And
right.
how did that turn out? Did they actually arrest him or just talk to him?
Yeah, well, they didn't state in the article if he actually was arrested. He had
Probably
just
not.
basically said, "Well, I was just tapping my knees and I could see why that was mistaken for masturbation." But I don't know. Clearly, you have a record which states the otherwise. So
I think they let a lot of things slide. So,
yeah,
yes, that's what I would say about that.
yes.
Hmm.
We'll let that one go. All right. Uh,
Maybe he has to be at home now because the campuses are probably closed.
I think he should be home either way.
Yeah, he could
Yeah.
go home.
Yep. Well, this next article, of course, is a brief one, but interesting state of mind. Let's see where this reads. It says that the title on this was "Teen's Menstrual Cycle Was Mistaken for Coronavirus."
Oh, okay, that's different.
I'm questioning the medical diagnosis on this, but
Are we still in Louisiana?
no, we are not actually. Let's see if this actually tells us where we are. Florida. Oh, good old Florida.
Or Florida? Okay.
Oh, we've had so many wonderful articles out of Florida. This one reads, the symptoms of that time of the month and the coronavirus are one and the same, according to a Florida middle school nurse. Well, that almost says it right there.
She sounds like she's really on top of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. She
So,
sounds
according to the news outlet, a grade 8 student from Lexington Middle School in Fort Myers was sent home on October 12th as the school had reported that she was basically noting fatigue from her menstrual cycle, and that the nurse said that it was probably a symptom of COVID-19. The student reportedly went to the nurse to complain about fatigue and that she had just started her period. However, the nurse gave the teen a form indicating the condition could be corona related. The girl's mother had said that the daughter didn't have any known coronavirus symptoms such as aches, fevers, chills, nor did any of the people in their house. The school
hmm
told Gil that she would to either have to quarantine or get a doctor's note proving that she didn't have corona 19. So the mother basically had come back with a rebuttal saying, "Am I going to have to do this every month?"
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, that's one way to get out of school.
that there you go, everybody. Whoever
Yeah.
has to go to work or school.
You're yeah, just because apparently the symptoms of COVID-19 are so many different types. So
That's right.
now COVID-19 can be mistaken for your menstrual cycle. That's good.
Oh goodness. Well, you never know what's going to come from that nowadays. You might find that just a headache or going to the bathroom is now a sign of COVID. So yeah, yeah. So
That's awesome.
so
Why were they in school anyway? I thought all the schools closed.
yeah, I don't know. Well, up here, schools are open with limited amount of travel and or limited amount of students in the class. So they kind of stagger things. Certain grades, I think, in high school, they're staggering days. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, here in California, not nada.
no, yeah, you guys are right back to kind of stage one again, aren't you?
Oh, we never left. I mean, I guess some people think we did. It doesn't seem that we did, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're
So,
pretty solidly, yeah, in the
yeah.
lockdown.
Our viewers, oh my.
Thank you for talking to me. I've been in the house for months.
Yeah. Yes, everybody can kind of feel a little cooped up if it wasn't for our wonderful technology we have nowadays.
I know, isn't it great? That I think that's one thing we've discovered. I mean, it's a tragic situation, of course, but we've discovered our technology and that we can work from home. We could go to the doctor from home. There's lots of things that we can do in a shorter amount of time and from the convenience of our home.
Yeah.
The thing is, once we can go out, will we really want to with all these things we could do at home?
I don't
I'm
know.
starting to find I like to shop at home and go to the doctor at home.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the fact that I can do online shopping and just have it delivered to me. I don't
Mhm.
bump into people, and it's really funny with. I always found every year, the closer we get to Christmas, people would get ruder and ruder and ruder when you're in the stores. I could avoid that completely now.
Yeah, I've learned a new way of life. Actually, I wanted to try to get some more Halloween stuff, and I went to the store. I went to two different stores. Of course, people will tell me it's at some other store. Okay.
Yeah,
But there was no Halloween stuff. And I'm like, but it's not been Halloween yet.
yeah.
And it was all Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Every
And
every year it gets closer and closer. Yeah.
and I'm like,
Easter and suddenly there's Christmas stuff.
wait, I used to work in advertising and as a graphic designer, and we got ready for the holidays this advanced,
Yeah,
but we didn't actually put the stuff out.
that's right. You didn't pull the trigger until at least it was close enough to the season to make worthwhile. Yeah.
No, no. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would imagine that's kind of difficult down in the US because your Thanksgiving is so close to Christmas compared to ours.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I actually found it really funny the last time I think I was in a Costco or something. It was in the summer and I looked over and there was like snowsuits out for kids. And I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna buy it now. My kid's gonna grow probably another 6 or 7 inches before then. So it's just a waste. Right? I gotta get I
Yeah.
know that's when you get it because that's when you get the deals or something, but, you have to wait till you're closer to the actual season to measure your children.
Right. And hopefully it won't be gone by that time.
Well, I
You
guarantee up
just
here it
yank
is.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get it a few size too big,
Yeah,
to get in on the deal, whatever they've got.
that's right.
So yeah,
Right.
it's a little
That's gotta be
confusing.
that's gotta be why Black Friday is so crazy down in the US, 'cause that's when
Hmm.
people realize, "Okay, it's close enough now. We can pull the trigger and get those clothes for kids."
Yeah, right after the coronavirus, you would think that getting toilet paper was Black Friday.
It's true.
Yeah, because I went to Target and the line was exactly the same as Black Friday,
Wow,
except
wow.
it was toilet paper day.
I was gonna say, I bet you the quantities were the same too.
Yeah.
We've got 3 packs here, everybody can fight to the death over it.
Yes, and you would wait in line for hours, and then you'd get so close, then they come out and go, "It's all gone."
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, "No!"
"You monster!"
And then you gotta go again the next
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
earlier.
What's really funny? Up here, there was people on, Kijiji selling a single roll for $15 or something, and I honestly felt
Wow.
like messaging them and saying, I would sooner wipe my butt with a sock than pay $15 for your crappy roll of toilet paper."
Right. Well, during that time, I bought a bidet.
Ah, smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was in, college and, I had, an apartment that had a bidet. It was actually quite a fancy place, and, we had a couple roommates, and it was always weird because every party we'd have, eventually we would find someone passed out on the bidet, like, almost like clockwork. At the end of the night, someone was passed out on the bidet. So,
And then they woke, well, you should have played a trick on him or something.
well, I guess of all the things that you could wake up with a hangover, but you felt clean as anything.
Right.
How many
Or
people
maybe they
parties
were
do you have?
positioned the other way and thought it was a water fountain.
Oh, boy. Don't drink that water.
You never know if you've had too much to drink. You might
It's
be
true.
on
Yeah,
on
right.
the loo that way. Yes.
Nothing like sitting on the toilet looking over going, "Ooh, water fountain."
Yeah. At home, don't use your bidet as a water fountain. That
That's
was
right.
just a joke. Okay. Yeah.
For the listeners at home, do not
Yeah.
do this. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we keep ourselves labeled as explicit because if children were watching our show, we'd have a lot more problems than about them drinking out of a toilet.
Oh, right. Yes, that makes drinking out of a toilet, oh, so much easier.
Right.
Even for the dog. You could do it for
Yes,
the dog too.
it's
The
true.
dog tries to, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. So, of all the things coming up with the holidays, of course, I'm not sure in your area. I'm assuming since everything's closed down school wise, or Halloween might be somewhat canceled. What are your Halloween traditions?
Well, I always loved going out trick or treating, and I did it well into my adulthood.
I like that.
And then dressing up, of course, some people would accuse me of looking dressed up in Halloween clothes all year long. But
There's nothing wrong.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And candy and watching scary movies. And they say the veils between the worlds are thinner. Light a few
Yeah,
candles and think about people that have passed on.
very nice. Yeah. Genevieve Rossi and I were just discussing that on the last show because she does tarot readings at this time of year for people.
Hmm.
I was questioning what was it about the Halloween season that, of course, makes people a little bit more interested in doing tarot readings. And she had said because that veil is a lot thinner, and there's always a better chance of contact.
Yeah, I think this year they said the veil is thinner in general.
I would imagine maybe that was one of the side effects of everybody not being able to drive so much. Smog blocking out of
The
that.
smog cleared, the veil thinned a little
Yeah, yeah.
bit. Tarot, that's really interesting. Yeah, I've had lots of different tarot decks. I
Yeah.
started out with regular playing cards, but I didn't realize you were doing tarot readings. I would have loved to have had a reading. It's
Oh,
hard to read for yourself. You
yeah.
can read for other people.
Oh, if I'd known, I would have worked something out and had Genevieve come and do a tarot reading for you. That would be fun.
Yeah, I did a tarot. I think I had a tarot deck in The Butcher. I played a psychic and I had a Hungarian accent. And so I have had some experience with reading the tarot. Sometimes people would ask me to read the tarot and I would tell them something and they come back to me and they said, yeah, it came true. And I'm like,
Cool.
oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
amazing.
didn't realize I could do this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. Hidden talents, or you were more susceptible to things that others aren't necessarily ready for.
Yeah, we've
Mhm.
talked about that a little bit on some of the other shows that are more inclined to talk about just ghosts and things
Yeah.
like that. So this is the season.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, we're pretty much open. We talk about everything here, so it's there's always a surprise conversation that pops up that we never really necessarily thought of. So
Hmm.
we had Artie Hoffman, who's a master psychic, on our show, and
Oh,
he did a reading, and I was quite interested. A lot of the things he said were very close to the mark, actually, with my little family. So it was very interesting to see what comes up because I was the type of person who would always walk by the psychic fair and go, I'm gonna think dirty thoughts and see who pops their head up and looks over at me and like disapprovingly or something. Nobody ever did it. So
I love to go to the psychic fairs. Here, I'll show you my crystal ball. I brought it out just in case you wanted
ooh,
to see it because it's Halloween.
yeah.
It's really cool. It's purple inside and it has the smoke
Okay.
that goes around. I've used it in different shoots because it's just that awesome. See,
Yeah.
it's a dragon
Yeah. That looks fantastic. And yeah, it looks
and
like
it has eyes.
you've got little smoke swirling inside of it and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's really
So
awesome.
there is my crystal ball.
Magical. Goes really well with your lighting.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then, of course, if you get tired of talking to this one, you can talk to this guy over here too.
Oh
He's
wow.
he's pretty talkative. Let's see,
Yeah.
he's kind of hard to see. Wait, there
There he is.
is a skull.
Very nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I've got all this kind of stuff.
Have Have you, I don't know if you've ever read the series of Jim Butcher book novels called Harry Dresden. There was even a television series came out called The Dresden Files. That
No,
was,
I haven't, but I'm going to check it out.
yeah, it's
What
very.
is it about?
So it is about so it's modern day, so our world as we see it today, and there's a private investigator who just also happens to be a wizard.
Wow, that's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah, and it's really, really interesting. The books, of course, are a huge series. The television show only made it through one season, which is unfortunate because it had
Mm.
Paul Blackthorne on it, who was absolutely fantastic. And it was a really good show, but it's completely about all things that go bump in the night, and that vampires and werewolves and witches and everybody are real, but
Hmm.
they just don't go advertising, right? So magic exists, but again, it's not advertised anymore. So people, of course, laugh at him and think, "Oh, okay, you're a wizard. So what? You pull tricks or something for kids at their birthday parties or something?" And he's like, "I'm not that kind of wizard." So it's very cool. I definitely recommend it if you get a chance.
There's so much that we don't understand.
Hmm.
That we can't see all the colors. We don't see all the waves that go through the air.
Hmm.
It's egotistical of us to think that we understand exactly how the universe works. We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
We're living here on the crust of this gigantic planet, and we're learning more as we go along. But until you cross over, you don't know.
yeah. It's true. We're
We
we're
can
just
only
babies at this point.
speculate.
Yeah, yeah. We're just babies in the big vast world of knowledge when it comes to the things that we live in and the things around us.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
And I think there's a lot of people that get a sense of something and they ignore it.
yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's actually really funny. I used to work at a bar in Toronto, and I had one of those moments where I was at the end of the night. I was cleaning up, and I was stalking the bar, and I was kind of down below, and then I went to look up, and there was a man in a black kind of a sports coat and a white t-shirt, dark hair, and I said,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'll be with you in 1 second," and I put another bottle in within seconds, and I stood up, and he was gone. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe he went down to the bathroom or something. So I kind of waited and I said, oh, that's weird. So I went down to the bathroom. There was nobody there. And I guess I
Mm.
didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, okay, that's strange. And then about a week later, I had a patron who'd come in and she was sitting down and she says, "Do you see that strange man sitting over there in the booth?" And I'm like, "Nope, you'd have to tell me where." And he says, "Well, he's wearing a black coat and a white shirt. He has dark hair." And she basically described this person that I had seen to a T, but I, of course, didn't see him. And
Hmm.
and then, of course, I had later asked the owner of the place, saying, "Hey, did you ever come across anything weird?" And she described the same thing, except for when she first started the place, it was a little Polish delicatessen where she was basically like a bakery. And she said someone used to come to the window all the time, but when she got to the window, he was never there. Yeah, so three
Wow.
people, three different experiences, but everybody described the man the same.
Yeah, that's. I was telling some paranormal experiences, and they all had witnesses. There's multiple people
Hmm.
that had experienced some of the same things, and it's hard to refute that when you have multiple people see the same man
Yes.
around or in the window, and then he's gone. Was he apparently from another time period? Could
Well,
you
that's the
tell?
I couldn't tell by the clothes. I mean, it didn't seem anything different than like someone would maybe wear like a suit jacket and a white shirt. I mean, it all seemed relatively modern within the last 100 years for sure. I definitely wouldn't have thought of him out of time period. So
Hmm.
like he was wearing a certain hat or long tails or anything like that.
And then he never said anything.
Nope, didn't say a thing. And
Yeah. See that I believe that
yeah.
happens. Yeah, we had quite a dramatic experience on the Queen Mary a few years ago on the 4th of July.
Mm,
I had stayed in the room 3 times, and the first time I stayed in there, when I got in there, it was freezing cold, and I couldn't seem to fix the heating.
okay.
And when I went to sleep, I was having this dream, and I dreamt somebody was rubbing my arm.
Hmm.
And I was saying, my darling Nancy, my darling Nancy. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, I've been to Queen Mary a lot of times. And I'm like, oh, that was a ghost.
Interesting.
And then I had been to the room a second time, and there was flickers, but it wasn't freezing cold like the first time.
Yeah.
And I took both my sons, and when we got up in the morning, one of my sons was sleeping in the hall on the floor.
Oh,
And I
interesting.
was like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
But it was the third time I took my son on the another son. Fireworks are going off, and I heard something, and I realized he was screaming. And I'm like, oh. And I went down the hall, and he was locked in the bathroom, and he couldn't get out.
Oh.
Nobody could get the door opened. I called the manager, and the maintenance people came up, and everybody came up, and they're trying to get the door open, get a skeleton key, trying to get the door open. Nobody can get the door open. They had to call the fire department,
Wow.
and they had to saw the door off that was on the hinge side, and they
Yeah.
telling my son, get away from the door, get away from the door.
Yeah.
And he came out, and they were like, oh, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, the room is free. Do you want something to eat? Do you want anything? Can we get you something? We have some toys. We can bring
Yeah.
some toys. Do you need some ice cream? And so they brought breakfast the next day, and the server came, and he said, so how was your night? And I said, oh, we had blah, blah. He goes, yeah, we all heard. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, did the ghost lock him in the bathroom? I'm like, oh. He goes, yeah, it's happened before.
Wow.
The ghost had locked a little old lady in the bathroom. We had to get her out. I'm like, you guys are renting this room?
Yeah, you're like, I think you should be putting that as a waiver on there saying, we'll give this one as a discount, but FYI, there may be a ghost.
Right. They had, and I noticed later, one of their most supposedly haunted rooms, they were charging more money for. But yet, my actual haunted room, I got for free. So
Well, after that, I'd hope so.
I think if there truly was a ghost in the room they were charging more money for, after stuff happens, that room would probably be free.
Yeah.
Unless they sign a waiver or something.
That's right. Yeah, unless I guess if you were like a paranormal researcher or something, and you definitely wanted that movie, or that room. But that it's actually funny. There is an area that is Niagara on the Lake up in Ontario that has a hotel that is notoriously haunted, and people pay to have an experience there. They actually pay big money to go to a haunted hotel. So
well, I think if you haven't had anything happen, you are really curious to see if it's real or have something happen. And if you haven't had anything happen, you believe it's not real. But once you've had something happen, then you're like, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, it changes your mind.
Yeah. Some people want proof or confirmation that there's something out there that's beyond them, or someone's had an experience and needs to reproduce it to know they're not crazy or something. So
Right.
there's lots of reasons why people would want to go to a haunted hotel or a haunted room.
Mm-hmm.
Not me.
But
I want to sleep. I want to sleep when I go to a hotel.
but I think it's a little dangerous when they go advertising it. So I'm not real sure that the ones they say are haunted are really haunted.
Yeah, right.
Because that could turn out not so good.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Could be just an experience that is preordained to be haunted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what else have we got in the crazy news?
Actually, that was our news for today. We only generally do one or two articles, so I know. So unless, of course, you've come across some phone articles. I was just saying we had a show a few hours ago. Actually, there was a really interesting one where Burger King was playing a joke on McDonald's, and they had their bathrooms set up to basically be haunted. So if someone did I think it was something like the canceled clown. If they said canceled clown 3 times, like Candyman, the lights would dim, and then through a special mirror, an apparition of Ronald McDonald would come up behind you while you were.
Wow.
So now that would be horrifying for me because I am not a fan of clowns at all.
No, me neither.
Clowns are vicious creatures.
No, not clowns, not clowns. We were talking about Rob Zombie on another show, and I said anybody that puts together fried chicken and clowns, that's just genius. I'm scared. I'm really scared already.
That's really funny. So a bit of a 6 degrees of separation there. The episode we were talking about that was with Tyler Mane, of course, who played Mike Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other articles we had earlier today was about a fire log that, of course, smells like Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it did. 6 degrees of separations. We've come back to chicken, clowns, and Rob Zombie movies.
It's Halloween.
Right?
What else do you do?
Happen.
And it's Halloween 2020. Hopefully we're not going to be in for anything too crazy.
That's true.
One thing about 2020, it's so weird because I've been dreading 2020 since 2016.
Really? Why is
And
that?
I did not quite know why, but I was counting it down, and I wanted to. And just in my mind, I'm like, okay, my boys are graduating, and I'm thinking about it and think, what is it that I'm afraid of?
Mhm.
And I looked at everything. It's like there's nothing really to be afraid of. And then when it turned 2019 and it was January, I said to myself, I just had this overwhelming feeling. I said, it's only 12 more months.
Yeah.
And when it became November 2019, things started to get a little wacky.
Okay.
And then the pandemic happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's it. Yeah.
I'd been dreading it for 4 years, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And that's a true story. And I just could not get rid of that feeling of impending doom.
Mm-hmm. Now that
Not to scare anybody.
well, I was gonna say now that it has come to fruition, I guess, do you find that that heaviness or that anxiety of something that is to come is now gone?
Almost.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think another month or two. I think I'm going to feel better when it's 20. I see somebody writing a note when it's 2021.
yeah. Okay.
But I can't say that feeling of doom has really left.
Okay. Well, our listener Mike here says, well, it is an election year, so maybe
Yeah, but
upon us for that.
that wasn't really in my mind. It was just this feeling, this feeling, and I couldn't shake it. It was so bad. I was counting the days down, counting the months down, and then boom, it happened. It was the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was troubling me so much. Hopefully it's nothing else.
No, I hope not. I think the world needs like a couple of years of reprieve before there's anything else going on. We've all been locked in our houses and a little stir crazy. We need to get out and stretch our legs before anything else crazy happens.
Right. Or at least be able to get out and get your toilet paper and paper towels and then go back.
That's right. Yeah,
and for us women, hair and nails.
It's true. I know. It's so funny the amount of COVID hair that was happening out there. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm okay at the moment.
No, your hair looks great. You don't have anything to worry about.
But I've got nails that are coming off now. I went for the first time, and now my gel is chipping off, and hopefully the nail salon can be open long enough here in California to go back. But I'm not. Time will tell.
See, I had an idea about that. If people really thought this through, what they could do is actually move all the tables up closer towards the doors or windows.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they could do is they could just create a slot where you put your fingers through, and you sit outside, and the technician's on the inside, and they could just do your nails.
Mm-hmm. I saw some with the plexiglass up and putting your hand through, so I did see some of that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess mine was a little bit more closed off, so And again, maybe that wouldn't be as cool. I mean, the plexiglass idea, at least you can see there's someone on the other side, right? There could be a
Yeah.
very different situation, yeah, on my version of it.
Right. You put your hand through and you're like, you don't know what's on the other side. I don't
Exactly.
know.
You could have some
But
weirdo that, like, start
you
putting their
have some
finger in your mouth,
strange looking nails once they come back out. I'm like, oh,
right?
okay.
You never know what you're gonna get. It's like a random, like a
Right.
revolver where you just put your fingers in, and maybe you'll get a good
Oh,
nail,
right. You come out with werewolf hands once you
right?
put your hands in a werewolf or witch hands or,
That's right.
flippers like a fish or
Exactly. Yep, yep. Yeah, buyer beware. Right on. So we have another part of our show where we're going to ask some slightly slower than average rapid fire questions. How does that sound?
Awesome.
Very good. All
Yeah.
right on. So
This will be fun.
first question we have is, what made up word would you register into the English dictionary?
Oh, that's a tough one. Not really a word person.
You ever have one of those things where you like bumped an elbow and you go to scream something out and you're like, that should be a word?
Well, dang it, I guess.
Dang it.
Is that in the dictionary?
I think separately it would be, but if you put it all together, dang it, maybe that
Yeah,
would. Yeah. Okay, we'll take that
the
one.
whole thing. Okay,
Okay.
got through that one.
Yep. What is the scariest dream you've ever had?
Okay, I thought about this and I thought about different dreams. Now, when I was a kid, I was in my bedroom. In every single house we lived, my parents had this dresser with a big old mirror.
Mhm.
And I was scared to death of that mirror. It's not really a dream, but I would go to the bathroom, but I would crawl under the sheets, down the bed, crawl on the floor to go to the bathroom. Then I would crawl back in the floor. I think it was like 4. And then I would get underneath the covers and then get back in the bed.
Wow.
And I still have that mirror, and I put it in my son's room.
It's his problem now.
That mirror is your problem now. I still have it. I didn't get rid of it. But I think one of the scariest dreams I had, though, was later. And I guess it was kind of a sleep paralysis thing where I saw a gigantic winged black thing, like with wings and talons like you would see in a horror movie. And I saw it and it flew over to me and hovered above me. And I couldn't move. And I saw this thing and all I could do was think in my mind, and I kept thinking, go away, go away, go away, go away. It was terrifying. It was really terrifying. I thought it was going to get me. And then I woke up or think I woke up or think I was awake. And and my mind actually made it go away.
Interesting.
But that was truly terrifying because it was actually very vivid.
I had something exactly like that, except for it turned out a bat got into my house. And it was flying above me at night. But I woke up. I don't know what woke me up, but I woke up and looked up, and it was flying around the top of my room in a circle. And eventually, well, let's say the first time, the second time it happened, it hit the ceiling fan, and it knocked it out, and it landed on my foot.
Oh no!
And I don't know if you've ever had a bat touch you, but it's literally like having a wet leather glove drop on your foot.
Ew.
It's so repulsive, and I kicked it off, and the little thing kind of came to, and I was able to pick it up and throw it outside.
Ooh, a rat with wings.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I know. Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, third question. What superpower do you wish you could have?
Reading minds.
Ooh, careful what you wish for on that one, now, right? Everywhere you walk, people are thinking of things.
Yeah. Well, and should know if they're telling the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be fantastic in the case of being an actress, right? They'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's fantastic. You do great. We'll call you back. And you'd be like, no, you're not. You're lying to me.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could be like, no, I'm not going to do that kind of movie. I don't know what you have in mind.
Right.
So yeah, that would be super handy in your business. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very handy there and pretty much everywhere.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, except for like I said, you need to be able to focus it because everybody's talking and everybody's thinking things. You'd have to have some ability to focus it as well.
Yeah, it could drive you crazy. So maybe a shut off switch.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Because
could turn
I
it on when you
yeah,
want to know and then turn it back off again.
yes, I'd like to be able to go to sleep at night without hearing what's going on in the neighborhood.
I think they had an episode like that on Charmed, and where she could hear everything. It was driving her crazy. So yes, I agree with you. And then flying would be cool too. Speaking of bats,
Flying is always popular. You know what
wouldn't it?
is really funny is nobody chooses super speed. I don't know why,
Hmm.
but that is the power I would take.
Super speed.
Super speed. Yep.
Why do
Uh,
you like super speed?
so I get very impatient on having to go places. So I would rather be able to just go there and be done in a mere fraction of a second, as opposed to like say having to drive an hour to get somewhere. It saves on gas cost. The amount of food that you'd have to consume to basically balance out your metabolism. It's fantastic if I can eat whatever I want.
Oh, that's a good superpower. Eat
Yeah,
whatever you want and not gain any weight. I
right.
love that.
Yep. So super speed gives you that one. Plus, if you ever needed to go back in time, you're gonna be able to do it through speed. So
Ooh, or the
right,
future.
for the future, right? So the best power you can possibly get. It's like a cornucopia of powers all in one. So you can do so many things.
Wow, it kind of reminds me of that TV show Bewitched. You
Hmm.
could go really fast, and because Indora would come and say, do you want to have lunch in Paris? And
Yes.
she'd be like, I don't really want to go because, Darren was such a wet blanket.
Yeah.
But, and then they would go. So if you had super speed, you could do that. You could go
That's
have
right.
lunch in Paris and go
Yeah. Or
shopping in Germany and then get back home.
yeah, it's like say you're like, oh, I'm really got a hankering for this kind of food. Remember when we had that when we were in Italy? Like bit back forth. Here you go. We can have that for supper tonight.
That's a cool question. And that's also, we were talking about pageants earlier, and that's a
Yeah.
question they often ask at pageants.
That's
What superpower would you want?
oh, that's very cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So there's also the answer, I would like to have the power to have all the powers.
Ooh, yeah, that would also be good too.
But that's cheating.
It would be, right? That's like
Yeah.
asking a genie for extra wishes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually that brings up, and I know we're getting off track, but let me tell you, if you had the ability to ask for one wish from a genie, what would it be?
Hmm. One wish from genies are tricky.
That's right. You got to be very careful of what you ask for.
I might not ask a genie for anything because the gens, they mess it up.
Yeah. Comes with the cost.
But if I were to ask, I would ask for wealth with no consequences.
That could be interesting. Yeah. I have one very similar to that, but my wish is that I always have just enough in my wallet to pay for what I want.
Mm,
So
that's
and
cool.
it doesn't lock it down to just your wallet because it's whatever wallet you have in your possession is your wallet, right? So that
Hmm.
means you always have just enough money, never more, never less, but just enough for whatever you want.
Yeah, you wanted to buy that house, and then my
There goes
wallet
the cash.
has it.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes, I'll take that car, take that house.
that's
I
right.
like it. I
You wanna
like
stick it
it.
down? There's only a quarter or whatever it is in the wallet.
That's a continuing wish
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Keep on going.
I
And
like
then not
that.
that someone can take it from you because it's whatever's in your wallet, not what is ever in their wallet.
Right. I mean, you
Yeah,
could have multiple wallets too.
right. That's right. So it always comes with whatever wallet you have. So I put
Mm-hmm.
a lot into that one actually, because like I said, I'd be worried that like you'd kind of the gin would come up with some type of secret way of screwing me out of my wish or putting me in
Right.
or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't trust those.
That's right. It's true.
But if it was a good gin, not a sneaky gin,
Yeah.
as if there is a gin or there is such thing.
Right.
Yeah.
The Robin Williams gin.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So my next question is, what makes you happiest?
um, I like I like when I can be acting and creative.
Mhm.
That makes me very happy. I enjoy being here with you right now and everybody else that's watching. That makes me happy. And then, of course, my children.
Oh, family's always important. They got to be in there.
Yeah.
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 If you could learn a foreign language, which one would you like to learn?
German,
Uh,
because it just sounds so cool. I mean, a lot of people don't really. I don't think they think it's don't like it as much, but I just like the way it sounds. Kind of tough, like
yeah.
yeah.
Most people go for like those romantic languages or something that would be convenient, like, oh, if I was bilingual and I knew Spanish, they would help me out with work or where. But a lot of people don't go for like the strong power languages, right? So,
Yeah, I like the band Rammstein,
yes.
and they speak German, and it sounds they're heavy metal. It sounds really tough, and I'm like, God, that's hot.
Yeah.
Du hast,
Yeah.
du hast mich.
True. Yep.
And then I'm about a quarter German.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, but
Part
what?
German as well. I'm part German as well. In fact, my last name might be suitable for today's show, being in Halloween. It translates to evil, ill will, or malice.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. So I
What?
can
What?
thank my brother for that one. So he's
He
he's
found
very,
it.
yep. He was very into the family lineage and the tree and stuff. So he did a lot of research on our German side.
Yeah, my family has been very interested in the tree, but most of my background would be British, about 60%, about 25% British. German. They've got all those tests you can take now.
Yeah.
Although it seems like their accuracy earlier on wasn't so good, and it gets more and more accurate. So
Yeah.
whatever they tell you, you hope it's the right thing and you're not, off track, because you get your mind set on it that's what I am, and then you take another test, it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't true.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
No, I'm bumming out.
I'm still waiting for one to say like I'm 3/4 Chinese or something. That'd be cool.
They never gave me that one. It doesn't happen.
Really? I don't know where that came from. The gene.
Yeah, you call up somebody in your family and go, I have to have a talk with you.
Yeah, exactly. There's some family secrets that have been being kept here.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys know anything about this?
Exactly. If you had a choice to live in a different decade, which one would you choose?
Well, one in the future, but we don't know what's in the future. But I tend to be very interested in the time around Henry VIII.
Oh, okay. Holy
The Knights of the Round Table, medieval. I know they had those terrible diseases and plagues, but hey, we got one now too.
Yeah.
Maybe I lived in that time in a past life. That's why I was so dreading 2020. I knew it was time for the plague.
Well, I hope you like your men short then, because I've never seen those suits of armor. They're pretty tiny.
Oh, you're right. They are.
Yeah.
I would be a giantess.
Right? I remember walking through a museum and looking at all the armor, and I'm like, okay, so this is the children's section. Where's the men's section? They're like, no, this was the average height of men back then. I'm like, This is like 4'8". So
But I think they did have some men that were tall.
they were called giants.
Yeah.
I think the average like 6'5" person was considered a giant back then.
I'm trying to
And
think, how tall was Henry VIII? Maybe somebody knows. I don't think he was short.
you know what? We're gonna give that one like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm pretty sure we got a listener out there that would be able to message in. So if anybody can look up what how tall was Henry VIII, and
Hmm.
let us know. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
really cool. So yeah, it's interesting to a lot of people would choose like 70s, 80s. Like, don't get me wrong, music was cool. I would actually much prefer like something like the 40s and 50s because I'm a little bit of an old school jazz person sometimes. And there's something romantic about that time period for me. I mean, you have to look past like all the family abuse and all that kind of stuff. It was very rampant back then.
Well, they had a lot of abuse also in the medieval
Yes, that's
times.
true. Yeah, you just got flogged or something, right?
Yeah, lots of stuff happening
Yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly.
But 40s is really cool. The clothes were really
Yeah, the clothes were fantastic.
beautifully tailored.
Yeah.
And the yes, the music, and but there was that when there was prohibition?
Yep.
Was that World War II?
Yeah, I think it all kept dipping in and out around those times. But yeah,
But still, the
yeah,
dancing, the
yeah.
clothes,
Underground clubs.
yeah, you just really looked cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And there's something that was really cool about men having to like wear a fedora and a coat or something. Like it's
Oh, somebody has it for us.
oh, here we
Henry
go.
VIII was 6 feet tall. I thought
There we
so. I
go.
thought he was a tall man.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mike. I knew you'd
Thank
look that up.
thank you, Mike. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Henry VIII was a tall man. Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
88 centimeters back then.
And all of his wives were cousins. So I think
Oh,
actually
okay.
one of the wives, the last one was the sixth one, Catherine Parr, was tall as well.
I'd be interested to see if any of the children were tall or maybe
Hmm.
had extra limbs. I don't know. So,
They said that Anne Boleyn had an extra finger on one hand.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she had a few other little quirks to her.
Yeah, I would imagine she would.
But I'm fascinated with that time period and the films and the movies. They had a series that was so cool. There was it was about the War of the Roses, the White
Okay.
Queen and the White Princess. I thought those were really interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That might be interesting to
the
look at.
House of York and the House of Lancaster.
Yes. Yes.
One symbolized by white rose, one symbolized by red rose, and the Tudors were symbolized by a white and red rose.
That's
White
right.
and red in the rose.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's right. I do recall some of that now.
Yeah, see, I want to go back there.
Yeah, that's really cool. The next question is, what's the first movie that made you cry?
Let me think. Bambi.
Bambi. Yep, that's a very popular response is Bambi.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think mine was Lion King for some reason.
Lion King.
Yeah,
Took you a while to cry.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was still dealing with the trauma of ET, so.
I think every year though, the one that I would put on that when it would come on, and then I would warn everybody, I'm going to be in my room crying. I'm okay, but I'm
Yeah.
going to be crying for a couple hours. Would be Steel Magnolias.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, such a chick flick. But that thing and Sally Fields, and it's like it's over.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a basket case again.
Done. I gotta go.
It's Steel Magnolias. Everybody look out.
Yeah. Oh goodness. I have a feeling I know this one, but let's see. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Excellent. Only 2 people have ever said no, and, I feel like, in this world, if you cannot believe of anything beyond yourself, it might be a little, obtuse or ignorant, there's gotta be something else out there.
Well, there's so many things an alien could be.
That's true. That's right.
It could be a virus on another planet.
Mhm.
I
Could
think they found sort of life formy thingies somewhere else.
Yep,
So you'd have to define alien.
that's right. Yeah, and maybe that's the thing, maybe people are looking at something that's more humanoid.
Right.
Yeah,
And if the question is humanoid alien, I would still have to say yes.
yeah, yeah. I often make a joke that, I'm sure they are out there, and I'm sure that every time they pass Earth, they say, "Kids, roll up your windows."
Right.
Yeah.
Or the joke about they're watching the TV show 2020 and they're going, that's getting good now.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see what happened last week?
So funny.
Maybe someday they'll tell us that there really are aliens and we'll all just freak out. Maybe that's yet to happen. I hear a lot of people say that's yet to happen for 2020.
That's right. Yeah. If that's either that or my fear at this point is that great white sharks are going to grow legs and come out of the ocean. So,
Oh, yay. You mean land shark?
land sharks. Yep.
Like the Saturday Night Live land shark.
I actually hadn't thought of that at the time, but yes, you're right.
Right. Land shark.
Yep.
I got a pizza. And he opens the doors like, land shark.
Land shark. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's true. You never know what's going to come next. What gets on your nerves?
The sound of a spoon clicking in a bowl and scraping it. And just click and scrape. Somebody that can't. I had a manager one time. Every lunchtime, she had like a bowl of something, and I'd hear. And it's like, aren't you done eating it yet?
Just smack the bowl out of her hand.
It's
For God's sakes.
it's obviously gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use your finger. I don't care.
At this
Stop.
point, just tip it up and drink out of the bowl, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just don't do that with the spoon.
That is
It's like, fingernails on the chalkboard type of feeling. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that grinding sound. Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. What exotic animal would you domesticate if PETA wasn't all over you?
Say it again.
What exotic animal would you domesticate if PETA didn't get up in your face about it?
There's so many cool domestic ones already. What would I domesticate? Well, something cute and fuzzy. One of the cats I would think of, but I don't know if that counts. Like a lynx, or I think people have tried sort of kinda to domesticate.
Yeah.
Some of the big cats didn't quite work out sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Didn't quite work out. Yeah. But we have cats and dogs and birds that are domesticated.
Yeah.
And dolphins kind of to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I could be more creative than that.
A dinosaur.
Dinosaurs, yeah. And we have pet lizards, pet hamsters. Oh, somebody said jaguar. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Cheetah, maybe a koala bear, because they could.
Koala as well. Yeah, that'd be really neat. They're cute.
Yeah, because we have teddy bears, and then to have a real life teddy bear would be cute and have its nails clipped and stuff. And it would be domestic.
Yes. One person said a sloth. And I thought that was a great thing because apparently a sloth only goes to the bathroom once a month.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, that person is a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
The mess. Yeah.
Yes, whatever it is, it has to go to the bathroom itself.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Keep that thing to go and flush afterwards. So
yeah, no bothering me about it.
That's right.
No.
All right. What gets on your nerves?
What gets on my nerves? When I'm in a dark room and somebody turns a light, like really glaring bright lights on. Like,
Okay.
let's
Yep.
say the room is dim and then somebody comes and goes, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the light is blaring and they don't seem to get it. They don't seem to get that it's jarring.
Yes. Yeah.
That
I was gonna
bothers me.
say, I was gonna say, well, you did mention an ex-husband, so maybe there's lots of things out there that got on your nerves.
Yeah. Also, that one of sitting in the truck and yeah, that one gets on my nerves too.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly too much.
But as far as somebody playing music next door, I'm cool with that. It doesn't bother me. And I have sound machines. So somebody has a dog barking, I turn on my white noise machines.
Wow, I love
So yeah, so I try to take care of those bothersome things. But if there's nothing really to cover it up, then yeah, it bothers me.
it. Okay, good. What is the last thing that you did just for yourself?
That I did just for Miss.
Mhm.
How about this bracelet?
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
thoughtful. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but I really wanted to get it for Halloween, and it's got skulls on
Yeah.
it.
Very cool. I like that.
And I thought it was just so me, and I
Yeah.
had to have it. And then I got a necklace too that had claws here, but it broke. Whoops. It broke in so many ways. I guess it was too cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Oh, okay. This one's always fun. I love hearing people's answers for this.
Okay.
If you could remove a holiday from a calendar, which one would you remove?
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, most of the holidays that you mean the ones that we have days off
On
for?
the calendar, you can remove it.
Oh,
Not
okay.
some of those weird international days where it's just like there's a day for everything. No, like like the old-fashioned way where it's like, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of that on Valentine's Day too.
Yeah, that's just too much pressure.
Yeah. What a farce.
Yeah, and there's just too many people that holiday makes them feel bad.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, except for the half price candy day afterwards.
It's true.
That one's okay.
That is
Keep
the
half
best.
price candy day.
Yeah.
But
in fact, that should be the holiday. Half price
yeah,
candy day.
but Valentine's Day, way too much pressure. If you want to have a Valentine's Day, pick your own day and do it. Yeah, that's the one I would get rid of.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a consensus of opinion.
Every day, if you love someone, you should tell them. You don't need a special day for that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. What would you do, or what do you do if you can't fall asleep?
What do I do? Well, turn the TV on, and that'll make me fall asleep. What else do I do? Oh, there's different apps that are supposed to help you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Calm. Maybe using my breathing, because part of actor training is breath control. And when you control your breath, then you start to relax your mind. And that helps with falling asleep. In fact, in one acting class, I did fall asleep in class when we're doing the breathing. And I was snoring. And they had to wake me up. And they're like, "Laura, you're asleep."
Our listener Mike says it's half price candy day starting this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, I know, but here in California, they made it Christmas and all the Halloween candy's gone. At least everywhere I looked.
Darn, that's horrible.
I know.
It's really funny you mentioned a class. Falling asleep in class. I traditionally trained to be a graphic designer, and one of
Okay.
the worst classes I had to do was classical art theory at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yes.
And I remember sitting in there one morning, and it was really exhausted. I'm pretty sure I was out partying all night, and they said, "Oh, okay, we're gonna turn off the lights and do a slideshow." And in my head, I'm like, "No, no, no!" And as soon as, sure enough, I fell asleep. The desk that you sat in was literally like a chair with like a little board that you put your notepad or whatever on. So I fell out of that and rolled down the aisle. And, like, I woke up and I got up and got back in my chair, and of course, because it was dark, my kind of person who was sitting next to me just leaned over and said, "I don't think anybody saw you." Yeah, yeah,
Was that like art history?
yeah, yeah. It was like art.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a little dull. You have to learn the dates. And yeah, I have a degree in fine art.
Yes. Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
Mike says you can come up and visit Ottawa. There's lots of lots of half price candy there.
Is there? Oh, thank you. I'd love to visit Canada. I haven't been up there.
It is well, this is the best time to come up here because it's absolutely beautiful. Yes, it's a little cooler, but with all the leaves and everything changing, it is a wonderful day. It's almost every day through the month of fall. It's my favorite time of the year.
Parlez-vous en français?
Just in petit peu.
Oh, un peu?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Comme
Yeah.
ci, comme ça.
Yeah. Other than that, I know how to ask to go to the bathroom. That's about it.
Où est le restaurant?
Yeah. the bank. Yeah.
You're in the English-speaking part, then.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. We're over in that the English side.
Yeah, that's a cool language too, French.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, we've got a couple more questions here for you. What is the best thing you've ever eaten?
Okay. Well, the best thing I ever ate, I like wild food. My Aunt Aline, who was on the David Letterman show, by the way, she was a senior Olympics champion, and she hunted all of her own food.
Really?
And it was wild food, and she cured it in salt, I believe, and it tasted incredible. It was so fresh. So pretty much, although my dad called it roadkill. So here I am. I'm letting y'all know that I have hillbilly family. They're going to kill me. So she cooked, I think her squirrel was the best. I loved her squirrel, and it's stuff I can't get because Aline's gone now. But she cooked squirrel and rabbit and a snake and venison and not the possum.
I think it's a possum.
No, not that. Raccoon. Squirrel, but then and frog legs. Oh wow, she did really good frog legs. And then I like things like crab and escargot and lobster. So butter.
What was it? Crocodile? Alligator legs.
That's good too. That's back down there in Louisiana again.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I've had that. I've had that once up here, and it was quite good. It was like spicy chicken.
Yeah, it all tastes like chicken.
That's what they say. That's what
yeah.
they say. People including, apparently.
No, we're supposed to taste like ham.
Yeah. Apparently it's going to be 30 Fahrenheit tomorrow, so may not be
really.
Yeah.
Where you are?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So you have seasons cool. And stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. If I never see snow again, it'll be too soon.
Well, I do like a white Christmas, but other than that, I don't really snowboard or do anything like that, so I don't care. Other than that, I'm just waiting for the next car to hit me. So.
Aw. Oh yeah, the snow and ice is really, really difficult to drive in.
Yeah.
I lived in the Midwest and I've lived all over the country and in the North Midwest, and they actually expect you to go somewhere.
Right.
And your car is like going like this, and it's like, we need you at work. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You're like, "Ah."
It's impossible to get
Yeah,
there.
very this one we haven't asked in a long time. Have you ever had a crush on a fictional character? And if so, who?
That's a good question. Have I ever had a crush on a fictional character? I think. Hmm. Thor, maybe. Maybe
Maybe a
some of
little upfront to make sure
the
it's the god of
Norse
thunder.
gods.
Yeah,
What the god of thunder.
yeah,
The Norse gods seemed kind of hot.
that's
Yeah.
legit. Yeah, no, I don't think you can go wrong with a Viking, right? So,
Oh, yes, a Viking.
yeah,
Absolutely.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I've given it away. I like Vikings.
Yep, there you go. And the last question I have for you is, what is your favorite podcast you've been on in the last 12 hours?
Yeah, of course.
Yay! And I think you all did. That worked out really
Yay.
well. Woo!
Yeah.
That's
Somebody says, what about on the brother of a podcast host? I don't know what that means.
I think
No,
you wrote in
I
the notes
just
thoughts.
I love the Canadian hospitality. The questions and the news stories. This is really freaking awesome. Oh, that's the name of your show.
Yeah, it coincides really well.
Yeah, really freaking awesome. And that's what it is.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Do you have any
Thank you.
social medias, pet projects, charities, anything that you're involved in that you'd like to let people know about?
Well, I last week I was shooting a show and I played detective, and that's all I can tell you. The
Old
Occultist
NDAs.
2 just came out, and then you can catch The Grim Weaver, The Legend of Black Annie, some of the various things I've been in. Look me up on IMDb for a full list because I forget sometimes. I got an
A lot.
email earlier that I was just hired for a show, and I don't even a movie, and I don't even know yet. I haven't had a chance to read it, and I forgot.
You're like, oh, wonderful, thank you.
That's what I said. I said thank you so much. I said, and okay, and then Instagram, hit me up over there, and you know, follow me, Laura Laura. You've got it up there.
Mhm.
Underscore Meadows, Meadows, as it sounds, and Meadows means just that, Meadows. Unlike your name meaning evil, mine is just,
Right.
just,
Fields of happiness.
pasture and happy. Underscore actress. And then I say actress because I'm also an artist. So I have a website, laurameadowsactress.com and laurameadowsartist.com. I'm not really so much doing the art. I find I say what I find that I'm more interested in the acting now. And then Facebook,
Yep.
you can hit me up there, Laura Meadows. You already know what I look like, so you can find me. And I've got 5,000 friends there, but you can also hit up my fan page and then YouTube. You can look me up there. And I would enjoy answering any of your questions or comments. And I'm available to autograph and send you pictures too. So let me know if
Absolutely.
there's something you see that you want.
Beautiful. We'll make sure that for all our listeners that are on the road right now and not being able to check out the live feed, we will post a beautiful picture of Laura up on our website under our guest section, as well as all of her social media and ways that you can connect with her. And hopefully, you will take this time during COVID, during the lockdown, to watch a good movie and something that she's been in, including The Butcher, Grim Reaper, or even
Yes.
look up the Thousand Ways to Die, especially when it comes to a ride-on mower.
And there's projects coming up.
Yeah.
Letras, we did a short. We want to make a long one. There's 2 more projects coming up that are with the same director of The Butcher. And I just filmed some scenes for what was that again? Hold on. It was 8 Days to Hell. Sometimes the names change on the films.
Yeah.
So, and it's starring Eric Roberts. So when that comes out, and then there's Tidy Tim, which is hilarious. It's a comedy. So I do some comedies too. And that's with the director, Shane Woodson. He's awesome. And thank you so much for joining me, and everybody that follows me. I so appreciate it, because without you, you're what's important is the people watching, and I want to be able to entertain you. So
Definitely. Wonderful.
yeah.
Well, we super thank you again for taking some time out of your busy day. I know it has been a long day for you as well, with the amount of shows that you have been on, and spending a little time with us has been wonderful. I've loved having you on the show, and I'd love to circle back around and have you again.
I'd love that. I'd love that when things get going again, and I can actually talk about some new stuff that I'm working on or that's coming out. And
Yeah.
thank you to the audience and everybody that's watching. Love you. Hope you have a great Halloween. Be safe, and be safe out there. Just be safe out there, and let this 2020 thing go past us.
We're so close. Yeah, we only have a
are.
little bit more. It'll be over, and we'll be on to the next one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for listening, tuning in, and of course, all of your questions and comments. We super appreciate that. Again, Laura, thank you very much for being on the show, and we will definitely have you back again. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
good night, everybody.
Take
Good
care.
day. Good night. Okay.